So I'm here to talk about artificial intelligence applications for e-commerce. So my name is Soumya, and I'm a senior product manager for a company called Adeptmind. It's an artificial intelligence startup based out of Toronto, Canada. And I'm here with G, who's our founder and CEO. So later on, after the presentation, you guys could find us and we can answer any of your questions. You can also follow us on Instagram at Adeptmind AI or visit our website, adeptmind.ai. So when Chase and I started talking about this presentation, the one common theme that came up was that many of you as Shopify SMBs might even be wondering, what the hell is this AI buzz all about? And how does it apply to SMBs in the first place? We all know about Amazon and its market share and how it owns pretty much everything in the market. That's because they have technology. So how can you as Shopify SMBs access the same technology? So that's what I'm here to talk about. Great, so we'll start with understanding a little bit of what artificial intelligence is. I'm not going to geek out too much, but I'll give you a basic framework so that the next time you hear about this term AI and machine learning, you will know how to place it in terms of your business. So when I Googled this term this morning, this is the first image that came up. It's actually very interesting because artificial intelligence actually began in the 1950s, or maybe a little bit before around the Second World War. It's been around as a theory or as a philosophy for over more than 50 years. So if you could go on the next slide. I'm sure you don't recognize the gentleman on the left, my left, your right. That's Alan Turing. But Benedict Cumberbatch here played Alan Turing in The Imitation Game. And Alan Turing is widely considered as one of the fathers of the space or the field of artificial intelligence. So a lot of work has been going on over the last 50 to 70 years. It's just that around 2010, 2012, this major convergence of various technologies and innovations took place. There was tremendous amount of data available because of 2 decades of internet and user-generated content, selfies and music and all of that, and text messaging. All of that data became available. And processing speed went really high while costs went really low. So that's around the time, 2012, when this big AI boom happened, and which is why present day there's this big buzz around it. So this is a very simplistic application framework for you guys to just use to understand how e-commerce applications come out from artificial intelligence. There are 2 types of data. There is structured data. Let's take your sales data, for example. If you sold 20 items on Monday and 30 on Tuesday and 40 on Wednesday, that's structured data. You can make beautiful tables out of it. You can do statistical data analysis, draw graphs, and analyze it. Unstructured data is basically text and images and music and all of that, things that cannot be tabulated. What deep learning or machine learning or artificial intelligence did is that now we have the ability to analyze unstructured data using image recognition technologies or speech recognition or natural language processing. So most e-commerce applications that are based on AI are actually a combination of traditional statistical data analysis and unstructured data analysis technologies that are fairly new. So that's basically how e-commerce applications come into being. Now let's see what these e-commerce applications are. I am sure most of you have experienced them as consumers of these large companies like Macy's or Amazon or Best Buy. So one of the first application that comes to mind is these chatbots. They became very popular, I guess, 2-ish years ago. And with Facebook Messenger, a lot of companies, especially these innovative brands like H&M and Nike, started experimenting with these chatbots. These are automatic chatbots where you as a user could go interact with the brand and ask them questions, and the brand would respond. Sorry, one last thing, if you could go back up. I think the presenter before me from Shogun, he mentioned that for Shopify SMBs, I would not recommend going into the chatbot territory. I think there are companies like Intercom, which are live chats. So if you could just integrate with those and have a direct interaction with your customers, that makes more sense for your size of audience. Another interesting application of natural language processing is natural language search or guided selling. Now think about it. How many users actually go on an e-commerce site and type in the search bar, revenge dress for my ex's barbecue party? You know you're never going to get any results, right? So you'll probably type things like red dress, red cocktail dress, but that's about it. What AI can, or natural language processing, can actually accomplish is that you can interact with your customer on an e-commerce site the same way this customer would interact with your store manager in store. So I want to show you something very interesting, and this will be really relevant because, again, the presenter before talked about the Macy's experience and how it's hellish to find pants there. Yeah. Could you type lip space makeup? Makeup. I don't know how to spell. Yeah, just hit enter. Now think about it. Macy's probably sells like 1,200 lipsticks. But if there was a way for us to ask your customer, what type of lip makeup? Long wear lipstick, hydrating lip gloss, waterproof lip pencil? Let's say long wear lipstick. Voila. The entire search result, and if you could scroll down, has been narrowed down to the specific match that meets the requirements of this customer. Now I can give you, like, there are several other queries that we can play with. Let's say it's like a user types foundation, so what kind of foundation? Light coverage, full coverage, hydrating glow, something else, which a Sephora store assistant would know to ask you or ask the user, but on e-commerce, that's not possible until now. Okay. Now the next one, as a concept, I'm sure is very clear. You like my shoes, so you would take a picture, upload it, and then hopefully the search engine would be able to find an exact shoe on, let's say, Macy's. As a concept, it makes sense, but it's so difficult to build a technology that can actually deliver on it. I tried a bunch of apps. In fact, I would encourage all of you to download the Amazon app and try the image search on the app. It's a joke, it's an embarrassment. They should actually take it off. But Macy's is surprisingly good. That's actually a pair of shoes I was wearing last night, and I snapped a picture, and you can see that it has identified that I'm looking for red shoes, and they're all kind of like pumps. They're flats because even though it had some heel, but it's not visible in the picture. So the Macy's app actually does a really good job. eBay launched this thing called Find It on eBay with much fanfare. Again, not so great. At Adeptmind, we have built out this technology, and if you guys are interested, we can schedule a demo. Another space that really took off in the last year is augmented reality, especially with companies like Sephora and L'Oreal, because there's a big use case of virtual mirrors and like try it before you buy, or virtual try-on of lipstick shades and all kinds of makeup. L'Oreal actually ended up acquiring a fellow Torontonian startup called Modiface, which basically does this, that you take a picture and then you can try on the entire makeup without having to actually try on the entire makeup. IKEA has recently launched their AR app, which is also very interesting. I would encourage all of you to try it out, because you can now just use the app and you can try out their furniture in your home space. Also, Shopify has come up with an AR tool, it's fairly recent, I think in the last month. Also quite interesting, you should just check it out. This is voice-assisted buying. So think about a world where you could just say, Alexa, buy me a couch. I wouldn't worry about it so much right now as a Shopify SMB, because even large companies, like shopping is number 13 on this list. So I would wait and watch, and maybe someday in the future when people are using Alexas and Google Homes, and there is a certain degree of comfort with buying on these voice assistants, then I would worry about it. Interestingly enough, this morning I saw that Best Buy has launched a partnership. They have integrated with Alexa and Google Home. So clearly stuff is happening in the space, just not relevant for us right now. So what should be the focus areas for Shopify SMBs now that you know that there are all of these AI-enabled technologies that are relevant for retailers and online retailers especially? So I could only think of like 6 very easy to implement applications, which I think you guys, despite what your SKU size is or what your traffic is and what your, whether you're e-commerce first or your brick and mortar first, you should consider. The first is natural language search. So the example that I was showing, that's part of natural language search, but also enabling a customer to search more than just shoes or jacket. Being able to search for longer queries is a good place to start. Adeptmind is one such option. There are also product recommendations. This is known to be a big, it's something that gives a huge boost to conversion. You could place a widget, think of it as a carousel on your homepage of other related products, or maybe your best sellers, maybe products that your customers engage with the most, either on homepage or on product details page, maybe after checkout, in order to keep them engaged, in order to keep your user engaged and prevent them from exiting your website. So that's another really good AI-based solution. Again, Adeptmind is an option. There's also AI-driven marketing. These days, there's been this big buzz around personalization, but personalization doesn't mean you have to personalize for each individual user. You can do it at a segment level, and there are AI technologies out there that can help you personalize both your message and how you buy advertising online using AI. I'm a big fan of gimmicky stuff, especially around Christmas, when you're setting up pop-up stores, or maybe you want more foot traffic in your store. And there are, again, a lot of startups that can help you with these AR screens, whether they're virtual mirrors or something else. It's worth considering. Also explore the Shopify AR tool. That's the link, shopify.com/AR. And inventory forecasting, this is not our area exactly because we are more on the user experience side, but we know that there are tools out there that can help you better forecast your demand and your upcoming sales and thus better manage your inventory. That's it. We are Adeptmind. Our app is called AI Search and Filters in case you guys are interested in checking it out, and reach out to us if you'd like to chat.